MobLand is the latest Guy Ritchie crime thriller, and it's quite the firecracker. Set deep in the heart of London, power is up for grabs as two rival families, the Harrigans and Stevensons, clash in a kill or be killed battle that threatens to topple empires and ruin lives. If you finish watching this one and are looking for alternate picks, we've combed through the archives and saved you the hassle with our top 10 picks that aren't spin-offs or set in the same universe. As always, let us know your favourites in the comments and which of these you've watched. So without further ado, let's start the countdown. Gomorrah is an Italian crime drama revolving around the mafia in Naples. Running for 5 seasons, Gomorrah has a lot of action set pieces, which are backed up by some amazing storytelling and tense segments along the way. The story here revolves around a man named Ciro. He disregards tradition in his attempt to become the next boss of his crime syndicate. Of course, these internal problems cause a rift to open in the family, putting all of them at risk. This series certainly doesn't run out of steam across its runtime, and there are enough twists and turns here to make for a thrilling watch and an easy show to add to your watch list. On the surface, Top Boy is a very straightforward story about two drug dealers trying to navigate the murky underbelly of London. When you dive a little deeper, however, Top Boy also presents a fascinating social commentary about the seductive nature of the drug trade. This show also weaves that around issues plaguing Britain's youth, doing so with a very gritty, in-your-face style. After 3 seasons, Netflix then snatched up the rights to this one, changing the format slightly and adding extra production value, while simultaneously remaining just as engaging and intriguing, and more importantly, seeing this through to a shocking and finite plot conclusion. It's perhaps unsurprising to find Narcos on this list, given Narcos dives deep into the drug trade and follows the infamous Colombian drug lord Pablo Escobar. The series plays out like a cat and mouse chase, with the DEA and federal agents working hard to try and track down and stop Escobar from growing his business. As the seasons tick by, the attention does turn slightly away from Escobar toward other criminals, especially in season 3 onwards. Still, for the most part, this series packs one heck of a punch, making it an easy recommendation. You can't really go wrong with a Tom Hardy period piece, and that much is especially true here with Taboo. This period drama revolves around adventurer James Delaney. He returned to London during the War of 1812 to rebuild his late father's shipping empire. However, both the government and his biggest competitor want his inheritance at any cost, even murder. What ensues from here is a surprising, twisty-turny thriller with great characterization, lots of memorable moments, and plenty to whet the appetite throughout. This one's an easy recommendation. Excellent acting and a lavish production combine to make Boardwalk Empire a very strong choice for period and crime drama lovers. The story essentially revolves around an Atlantic City politician who plays both sides of the law by conspiring with gangsters. Set during the Prohibition era, this moody, gritty drama perfectly captures the 1920s time period. With 5 seasons to get through and lots of twists and turns along the way, you'll be hard pressed to find a better depiction of mobsters than in this gem of a show. Gangs of London is a thoroughly enjoyable crime epic, and one that does a great job blending graphic violence and big action set pieces into an interesting story surrounding a power struggle in London between various gangs. The story here centres on a man named Vin Wallace, the crime boss overseeing affairs in London, who's shot dead by 2 nobodies. With no one at the top, a wrestle for power ensues between rival gangs, leading to high-octane action and some absolutely crazy twists along the way. While the plot does lose its way a little during the 2nd season, and a couple of characters don't get a great send-off, there's enough to like about this one to make it well worth a watch, flaws and all. Cinemax's action thriller Warrior is very good, although it's bound to draw some comparisons to shows like Peaky Blinders for its gang-centric storyline. Warrior marches to the beat of its own drum and is all the stronger for it. With the Hotway and Longji gangs on the brink of war, the story here picks up with Assam arriving on the shores of San Francisco, determined to find his sister Mei Ling. Unbeknownst to him, she's actually mixed up with the Longji gang, while Assam finds himself recruited to the Hotway following some impressive fighting at the dock. Combining well choreographed fights, political scheming and a volatile 1870s setting, Warrior does well to keep things interesting and unpredictable throughout its runtime. The Wire is an absolute must watch and one of the best series out there when it comes to depicting drug warfare and gangs. Here we're taken deep into the gritty streets of Baltimore, where the drug game is strong and everyone's trying to come out on top. At the centre of this are the cops, drug dealers and just regular people navigating life in the city. There isn't a main character per se, as the show basically depicts Baltimore as the protagonist and lets its characters run wild, but that's partly what makes this series so endearing. Well written, gritty and chock full of memorable moments, The Wire is compulsory watching. Raw, dramatic and surprisingly realistic, if you're looking for some crime action set in 1920s England, Peaky Blinders is just what the doctor ordered. This BBC drama revolves around a family determined to make it to the top of the criminal underworld. At the heart of this is Tommy Shelby, who, along with his brother Arthur and Aunt Polly, find themselves tackling an array of problems both internally and externally. Peaky Blinders really excels in its grimy, dark depiction of Birmingham. There's plenty of twists and turns along the way too, and with 6 seasons to get through, there's certainly enough here to whet the appetite. When it comes to entertainment excellence, Netflix's Guy Ritchie series The Gentleman ticks all the boxes. The show serves as a spiritual homage to the 2019 film sporting the same name, but there's enough here to whet the appetite even if you haven't seen that movie. The show centres on aristocratic Eddie, who returns home after inheriting the family estate to discover that it's home to a huge weed empire. Even worse, its proprietors aren't going anywhere. What follows is a crazy rip-roaring series that combines action, drama and thrills together into a heady cocktail of hedonistic goodness. This one's another very easy recommendation. So there we have it, our 10 TV show alternatives to check out when you finish watching MobLand on Paramount+. So what did you think of our picks? Do you agree? Are there any notable omissions? Or do you think we're way off the mark? Either way, let us know in the comments below. Smash a like or subscribe to the channel, your support is very much appreciated. I'm Greg Wheeler, and from all of us over here at The Review Geek, we'll see you on the next video.